Hey there folks, I am the Mighty Plantain. Thanks for checking out this video. And another thank you to Wise at checking your screen name on YouTube. It's a Y followed by an S, and you got a couple of X's surrounding it. So I don't know if it's XYS or what. I'm guessing just Wise. Let me know down there in the comments the email link if I'm mispronouncing it. But following up on a viewer suggestion from you, we are doing Pacifico Clara, Cerveza Pacifico Clara. Now this is an imported beer. It says it's brewed in Mexico, but then, oh no, imported by Crown Imports. So, comes out of Chicago, Illinois, but it was imported to the U.S., not brewed in the U.S., so that's a good thing. I always like it when it comes from its native country and gets imported. I mean, don't get me wrong. Domestic brewers can follow a recipe just as well as anybody else, but there's something about having it imported. This makes it more pure for me. Again, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Ignore that. But hey, thanks for the viewer suggestion. For those of you who have made plenty of suggestions and aren't seeing them showing up on the channel yet, hey, I'm working on it. I'm trying to find some of those brews. I think Victoria was another one suggested by Wise, and I'm still keeping my eyes open for it, but not everything makes its way up here to Maine, and some things that do even require a bit of a trip for me. The closest beer store to me is still like a 15 to 20 minute drive. I've got another one that I hit, which is about a half-hour drive. And then less often, I make the 45-minute to an hour drive out to another one. I'm hoping to hit it later this week, next weekend, whatever. But anyway, just to draw you guys kind of a mental picture, it takes at least a little bit of travel to get to most of the beer stores that I have around me, and a lot of travel to get to some of the ones that carry stuff that I don't come across all the time. But I do have a list, and I am working from it. TJ, I'm looking at you specifically, man. I've got tons of stuff that you've suggested, plus things that I come across on Untapped that I catch my attention. So folks, follow me on Untapped as well. You'll find me under the Mighty Plantain there. I pay attention to your check-ins, especially when you not toast, but tag me. It's still just called a tag on Untapped. I promise you, I'm not actually drunk. I'm just forgetful because I'm doing all of this completely off the cuff tonight. I didn't think about it or script it out ahead of time. So, that being said, Pacifico. And it is not a twist top, which is great. I should have known that going in. I suspected, but I should have assumed that going in where it was an import, that it wouldn't be a twist top. So that's awesome. That is a nice light beer. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a lager or a pilsner or what. I'll look it up after the fact. But it is a fairly effervescent beer. It's got a nice light yellow color to it. Plenty of bubbles coming up through there. And here's something I don't see that often. I'm seeing some bigger bubbles in the middle of all those little bubbles. Normally the bubbles are fairly consistent size, so I don't know what causes that difference in size there, but I like the looks of it. I'm loving seeing those bigger bubbles randomly popping up in the middle of all those smaller bubbles. It's actually slightly mesmerizing. It's got my attention. Damn, that is cool. But nice light yellow color. I expect a lighter beer. It's got a little bit of a grainy aroma. like a lighter grainy aroma. I almost want to say wheat, like a weedy aroma, but it may or may not be made with wheat. Don't take that for anything. It's just a nice light grainy aroma. But it does remind me of some wheat beers out there. Not bad. There's nothing other than that grainy, weedy aroma coming through. I'm not getting any hints of hoppy bitterness or anything like that. Just grainy weediness. It smells like beer. It's got a nice light mouthfeel. Goes down easy. It's just got a nice, light, general beery flavor to it. Reminds me of a lot of domestic beers, like I'm going to say Budweiser, Coors Light, Miller Lite, but it's got a smoother character to it than those. Easier to drink, less intense. It's got a nice, lighter, I'm going to just say it, it's got a Mexican beer flavor to it. Reminds me of things like Corona and Dos Equis. Not Dos Equis Ambar, but regular Dos Equis. Just because it's light, it's airy, easy to drink. This is going to be refreshing on a hot summer day. Don't get me wrong, it's a hot summer night here, so it is refreshing. It's crisp. And again, it's an easy drinking lager, but it reminds me a lot of some other Mexican beers. There might be a hint of saltiness in the finish, just a vague hint of saltiness, maybe some lime to it. I don't know. I could be imagining that just because I'm used to having these with salty and lime foods and other flavors. Yeah. And there's nothing mind-blowing, nothing stand out about it. It's a good beer. It's a solid beer. It's nice, light, crisp, and easy drinking, but it's not giving me anything really too distinctive or impressive to go off of. Like I said, it kind of blends in with Corona, and Dos Equis, and some of the other just general Mexican imported beers that I've had. Tecate is another one that comes to mind, although this is a little smoother and easier to drink than Tecate. God, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But no, Pacifico, easy to drink, nice, great summer beer. I'm going to hit it with a 3 out of 5. Now, I'm going to say this right now, a 2.5 is average on a scale of 1 to 5. So that 3 puts it just slightly above the average beer. Easy drinking, light beer, crisp and refreshing during the summer. I know I keep repeating that point, but I will tell you this. The fact that it's at a 3 means I would take it over any American light beer any day. Coors Light, Miller Lite, Bud Light. Well, actually, it might have some competition with Miller Lite, because Miller Lite has a little bit of hoppiness to it that the others don't. But I'll tell you what, the difference would be the price point. So if this was cheaper than Miller Lite, it wins hands down. If it's more expensive than Miller Lite wins. How's that? I'm not above admitting that sometimes price plays a factor in what I buy. So, I guess that's really all I've got to say about Pacifico. It's a good, solid, crisp, light, easy drinking beer that would be great on a hot summer day. Honestly, I'd probably drink it any time, but I prefer my craft beers. But It's not a bad option, and hands down beats most American beers, unless it comes to a price point or up against Miller Lite that does happen to have a little bit of hoppiness that gives it some street cred, God, that gives it a few extra points in my book, because I love hoppy beers. So, solid 3 out of 5. Hit me up down in the comments, the email link down below. Love to hear what you have to say about Pacifico, whether you agree with me, disagree with me. Let's discuss it. Because beer taste is subjective. Not everybody likes the same thing. Doesn't mean we're wrong. Just means we have different tastes. While you're down there, don't forget to like and share the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Till next time, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I was trying to think of the Mexican equivalent of cheers, and I don't know it off the top of my head, so I'm just going to say cheers.